Welcome back to The World Over. It is a singular institution, the only Catholic boys' choir school in the United States. And now, after 50 years of existence, the boys of the St. Paul's Choir School in Cambridge, Massachusetts, have finally released an album, a Christmas collection entitled Christmas in Harvard Square, which premiered atop Billboard's classical charts. But for the boys of the St. Paul's Choir School, this is a way of life, not a one-off performance, as I discovered when I visited them recently. Here's an encore of our profile of the boys of St. Paul's Choir School. Take a look. From the hallways, it looks like any other middle school. Boys dragging things from lockers, racing to classes. But there's one big difference at the St. Paul's Choir School, as anyone who visits around noon is likely to hear. Ethereal young soprano voices fill St. Paul's Church each day for the Mass. And that sound is no accident. It is said that St. Paul's is not a school with a choir, but a choir with a school. The musical training here is as advanced as the academic curriculum. John Robinson is the music director, himself the product of several English cathedral choirs and the choir of St. John's College, Cambridge. What about that training lingered that you've passed on to these boys? This is not a typical choir room in America.
Absolutely right. It's a room that we're in many times during the day. Well, at least they're in it twice a day in preparation for the Mass that they sing. And a lot goes on in here emotionally, I think, as well as just in terms of music theory, that the boys are really learning to get behind the notes of the music and to what the music is saying about the piece in question, you know, what it's doing with the liturgy. And that's a big part of their preparation, is they're trying to understand that as well.
What's the most difficult thing about training these boys and boys in America where there isn't this tradition in place? You have it all over England, let's face it.
It's a funny thing. I find a lot of things are very easy in a way to communicate with the boys here, and particularly to do with what the music means and the prayer behind the music and how you get into shaping the emotions of the music and the phrases of the music. And to me, those are the most important things, really.
The training is rigorous, particularly for 4th through 8th grade boys. In addition to science, math, literature, and religion, the boys sing at Mass and at several rehearsals throughout the day, under the watchful eye of John Robinson.
At first, it definitely was very hard, and you always have to be just on the beat and everything. And after you get used to it, you just know the circumstances that he likes and all that stuff. So I think I got a lot more used to it than at the beginning. It was very scary at first.
The tone is something we work on a lot.
Well, when we were in the 4th grade, I remember tune, 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 dynamics, tune.
Robinson can be exacting in the rehearsal room.
Something doesn't sound quite right over there. Thomas, is that you? What's happened? It sounds different to usual.
In a good way or a bad way?
Maximo, are you okay? You all right? Yeah. Huh.
Thomas, you were flat. You were flat the whole time. Just let's work on it. Let's work. Stand closer to me and you'll hear how it's supposed to sound, Thomas. I think we're ready now.
That it really is difficult to get a 9 or 10-year-old boy to understand how to sing something expressively when they barely want to look you in the face, because they're shy boys. They're looking at the ground half the time. So to get them to perform is a big deal.
What do they learn about life and the liturgy through this process of encountering the sacred music every day, in their mouths, in their breath?
I hope that they learn to give to God the best they can offer. I think that's what we're after here, is to really do this excellently and to be able to realise that for them, really, the sky's the limit. They can get better at this all the time. If they're offering their gifts back to God and they're able to keep on working at them, that's a very strong thing to be building on.
Reverence and attention to the grandeur of the sacred music is stressed in the daily training. The boys are required to wear formal red cassocks and those lacy collars or ruffs for performances.
Sometimes the Velcro gets poked into you, but most of the time it just tickles.
The boys are also required to play piano, recorder, and sight read, a challenge for some, old hat for others.
In my old school, which is Holy Name Parish School, I did band, and I learned how to read the treble clef. When I first got here, I was ahead in music theory because I knew all the half notes and the notes in the treble clef. So I didn't find theory that hard at first, but once they started introducing stuff like compound time, I found it a tiny bit harder, but I'm still ahead.
No matter where they start, all the boys have been transformed by the experience.
Before I came to the school, I really liked the pop music, but it's changed because I'm starting to enjoy classical music more now because it's just so many different key changes and dynamics.
I thought I did not enjoy singing. I didn't realize I might have been the loudest person at the church when I sang. The thing is, I love singing now because it's just a mental challenge to lift your heart and mind to God, as well as a spiritual challenge.
Father Michael Dre is the pastor of St. Paul's Church and the head of the Harvard Catholic Center. He believes the daily exposure to sacred music touches the boys in another way.
Music is an opportunity to look into the divine, an opportunity to look into the heart of God, if you will, and to feel his presence in a new and in a significant way. And how music serves the liturgy, which is the central aspect of our Catholic faith, the Eucharist. The music contributing to that helps our people, whatever stage of their faith life they're in or at, to move beyond the ordinary, to move outside of the mundane into something where they encounter the Lord in a profound way.
Why do you only accept boys between the 5th and 8th grade?
Well, the school was founded as, we actually have a 4th grade, so the school was founded as being 5th to 8th grade, and we brought in the 4th grade because the boys' voices are beginning to change earlier in general on average. So we needed more time to be working with them before the voice change began in order to get them where they needed to be musically. But the real sort of goal of the school has always been that beautiful treble voice sound that you associate with different, King's College, Cambridge, that famous choir, or the Vienna Boy Choir, slightly different sort of a sound, but that, it's that pure sound that the composers of a lot of the music we sing here had in mind when they were writing it.
And it's a tender, fleeting thing. People don't realize this is it's a very small window. It's between, 11 and 14 now, and then it's gone.
Exactly right, exactly right. It's like the Mayflower, isn't it? The Mayfly, that fly which is alive in the spring for about one day, and then that's it, it's gone. And the treble voice is just like that. It's just passes, and then it's gone, and everybody weeps when their voices change.
Those whose voices are in transition graduate into the Schola Cantorum. Others join the men's choir.
We'll still be singing, but just in a different tone, like alto, tenor, and bass.
Still other boys become altar servers. In the meantime, the choristers work on preserving their short-lived gift.
Try not to drink any type of milk or dairy products.
Drink a lot of water. I do every time I pass the water fountain.
Don't clear your throat, because that could hurt it.
I try not to yell and scream a lot, but sometimes, it's just, I can't help it.
Before those golden tones abandon them, the boys have recorded a new album, Christmas in Harvard Square. It commemorates the 50th anniversary of the choir school and was recorded at a tense moment. When this album was recorded in May, it was about a week apart, not quite a week,
from this Black Mass that put Harvard Square and the university at the top of the headlines for weeks. Do you see any providential correlation between the recording of this Christmas album and this Black Mass that was announced for at Harvard?
Well, I think in many ways, yeah, I do. I really feel that in that moment, when we live our ordinary day lives, people of faith, that is, understand that Christ journeys with us and walks with us. But when we are under assault, as we were with the Black Mass, we really reach out to the Lord even more. And I think it was a providential thing for these young boys to realize that what they do each day at Mass, singing and serving at the Mass, the Eucharist, the center of our Catholic life, that they're not the only ones doing this. That there is a great community of believers the world over who truly love Jesus, love his Eucharistic presence, and take strength from that. And it was a catechetical moment for them to see so many come and to embrace this great gift that they embrace day in and day out.
Tell me about the repertoire of this Christmas album.
So it's both very familiar, so things like Hark the Herald Angels Sing, O Come All Ye Faithful, real Christmas classics, but also it touches quite deeply really on the history of Christmas music as well. So you get this beautiful polyphony.
The hope is that this will reawaken in many throughout the church the beauty of this great gift that we have in Gregorian chant, in polyphonic music, and how this was written to serve the liturgy, to worship God, and for those who are in the position to embrace the call of Benedict XVI, to really look at the beauty of the liturgy and to reform the liturgy.
The boys have their own hopes for the Christmas album and what it will engender in the listener.
I think I want people to, you know, just think about God when they listen to these and to worship him in every way that's possible.
To make more people aware of God and his greatness.
I hope that they see how beautiful church music is and how beautiful God is in all his power and might.
Here is the late poet and peacemaker Mattie Stepanek with a very moving meditation on all the things we should be thankful for.
On being thankful. Dear God, I was going to thank you tonight for a beautiful sunrise that was pink behind the fog down the hill, and for a wonderful rainbow that I ran under pointing to all my favorite colors, and for such a great sunset that sparkled orange across the water. I was going to thank you tonight for all of these special gifts, except that none of them happened. But do you know what? I still love you, God. And I have lots of other things that I can thank you for tonight, even if you didn't give those very special gifts to me today. It's okay, God, because I'll look for them all again when my tomorrow comes. Amen.
In full disclosure, I am part of a guild that is spreading Mattie's words and witness and praying for the advancement of his cause for canonization.